Alright everybody, so today we're going to be drawing some noses, and I'm going to try to be drawing a couple different kinds of noses. But what you're going to need for class today is a pencil and probably an eraser. This is a giant eraser. I really like this. It's very sturdy. It erases very well. And this mechanical pencil you can just push to get it elongated, and you can kind of push it in to get it shorter. Alright. So I'm going to start drawing some noses. Now, the first nose that I'm going to make, noses have kind of three basic shapes. The first shape is going to be kind of almost like a bird, almost like a seagull in the distance. Okay, is going to be the bottom of the nose. All right. Now, after you make that seagull in the distance type of shape, you're going to draw the sides of the nose. So the sides of the nose are just going to kind of come around like this. You draw the sides of the nose just kind of like that. And then you're going to kind of go up and draw kind of the ridge of the nose up in here. Now, if you want to put some shading in here, you can. And you can also kind of smear it with your hand a little bit to make a little bit of shadow, okay? Now, like I said, I'm going to be drawing a couple different types of noses, but before we move on from this nose, I usually like to make the nostrils, a little bit blackened in, kind of like this, so it looks like a real nose. So that's a nose. Now, like I said, there's all different types of noses. So another nose would involve the same kind of three basic steps. You're going to start off with a seagull in the distance or a bird in the distance, just like I did with the first one. But I'm going to make it dip a little bit more, okay? And the nostrils have a little bit more of those ridges. Unlike this one, it's a different shape, okay? Depending on who you're drawing and what kind of nose you want to draw. But the sides of it, I'm going to make not so different. I'm going to make them the same. Okay. It's kind of like this. And I'm also going to make the ridge of the nose maybe a little bit wider, kind of like this. And you can also do some shading like I did over here. I kind of shaded over here a little bit maybe, and you can take your finger and you can make that shading a little bit more subtle, and subtle is just kind of another word for not as intense as these lines, okay? But I'm also going to make nostrils on this because everybody has nostrils and we need to complete the nose. I'm going to draw one more nose, and the third nose is going to be a little bit different than these noses. Again, we're going to make that bird shape, but it's going to be a little bit more flat. And I'm going to draw the sides of the noses, or the nose, just like I did the other ones. You can do it differently. You can widen it out a little bit if you want. I'm going to try to draw a smaller nose. It's almost like a little kid's nose. I'm going to draw the ridges. You can draw these lightly. You don't have to press so hard on the pencil. You can go and you can make kind of the top ridge kind of come out a little bit more. And you can shade that in just a little bit. And again, you can smear it with your finger. Or if you have a Q-tip, that also works very well. I'm also going to give some nostrils, but not so much because this is a flatter nose. It's not as flared out, and it's not as much nostrils, so it doesn't go down as much. All right, it's kind of like a flatter nose. Some people have a flatter nose. Some people have this shape of nose, a larger nose. Some adults. It just depends. It depends on the person. Everybody has a different type of nose. So that is how to draw a nose. So this right here is a stump that professionals use to kind of blend in and make shadow on certain things like noses. You don't have to use this. It's just what professionals use, professional artists. If you have a Q-tip, it will also work. And if you kind of smear it a little bit, it'll blend. You can also use your finger if you would like. These are really handy though because they have a point or a tip on the end. And it can kind of pick up a lot of the pencil and it can kind of smear it around, making it look more like shadow rather than line. As you can see, they're very handy and they make shadow very well. So if you want to make like I wanted to make all these noses kind of the same height, I just use my eraser and you can get that off. Whatever you use, even if you smeared it with the, or not smeared it, blended it with the stump, you can still erase. It'll pick up all of your pencils. Do you see how well that works? That's a really good eraser right there. Very clean. That's drawing noses. Bye.